George. How you doing?
There, Daddy-O. How we doing, Daddy-O?
How's it? Hey, so what? Before we even start, what's the temperature up there like?
Right now it's a balmy. Hang on, I'll give you the exact number. I believe we're out of single digits, I think. Yes, we are. We're all the way up to 11. So,
11.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry you're not here because it's 73 degrees here.
Well, right here where I am.
I'm talking about outside like you.
Oh, outside. Yeah,
73 outside.
So that's the whole thing. Inside's mountain, 70, no wind,
Yeah, so good to see you, George.
Yeah, no, it started I think we started at this morning. I think we started around 1. I don't think we were below 0. Ambient. This is ambient we're talking, not wind chill. We're just talking ambient. So.
We don't have to get technical here, George, but it was 1 degree outside.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, good to see you, man.
Good seeing you. I missed yesterday. I don't know where I was on that. So anyway. But if that was videoed or saved, then I'll watch that.
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I'll do it again.
Okay, cool.
So you're not on Facebook Live now, are you?
We are right now StreamYard. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we are on
we're everywhere.
YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, good.
So I
man.
thought we'd have a conversation.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'd like to talk about really the thing that's been looking at me is that have you noticed how everybody tries to pick a thing and then somebody else has a counter thing, then somebody else has a counter thing, and I think what's being missed is the totality of everything.
Yeah.
And I think that we're missing some of that. I think that what's interesting, I was just in a store the other day, and you know how they just turned the pyramid upside down?
Yep.
And so now everybody's talking about protein, right? Now protein's a big deal. Hi, Keith. So now protein's a big deal. So I was looking at it, and all of a sudden there's cereals that are labeled protein. There's drinks labeled protein. Granola bars. I mean, everything with almost potato chips, protein. Like all of a sudden, they're marketing geniuses that there are trying to convince people that, hey, listen, it's protein. You need protein. We've got protein. And look at our thing. It's protein. And the interesting, hey Keith, buddy, is that when they start looking at protein. And now there's 2 different layers that they can look at protein. Now you tell me, Dr. Bobby, you're the educated guy here on that topic. But what the deal is that they can go by the percentages, and I'm going to actually do a video and show how to calculate and whether that's true, whether it says they see high protein or whatever. But so there's that whole layer on the back side of the box, right? But then there also is this, and I don't want to say shady because it's in the clear sunlight, allowable. Hey, Signal, good. Is that they can go by percentage of daily requirement.
Yeah.
And so they can label it. And so by labeling, there's 2 actually different classes of that. And like, holy cannoli.
Yeah. So let's break it down and keep it real simple. 30 to 40% of your daily calorie intake should come from protein. That's it. Forget about everything else. Because there's all kinds of numbers and you can do RDI and whatever, but just keep it simple.
Yeah, but see, we can have the conversation, but how does Grandpa go into the store Now he's heard he needs protein, and he sees the label on the front of the box, protein.
Yeah,
Cheerios, protein. It says Cheerios. There's a Cheerios box that says protein. What the flying heart?
So we have to educate people that that's not protein, right? That's carbohydrates. Carbohydrates can get converted to glucose, going to spike our insulin and cause insulin resistance.
Yeah, and some of the protein doesn't. Yeah, and some of the protein isn't even usable.
Yeah, there's no protein.
Yeah, even if there is, it's not absorbable. It's just it's dust.
Yeah.
And so one of the funny things, Keith, you like this. You're a pet owner, right, Keith?
I used to be.
Okay, yeah. I used to. I had Dr. Bobby. You got kids, so I mean, you got pets. So, but I was doing a thing the other day. You guys will love this one. I was at the store, and I was reading sides of boxes, right? And then remember there was that TV show called Name That Tune.
Yes.
Remember there was you could name that. They give you whoever wrote it or a note or two. They give you a clue or time, and you could name that tune. I was looking at sides of boxes and labels, and I'm going to start a game called Name That Food. Because if you look at the side of that box, you have zero possibility of actually knowing that what the food is. I mean, it was insane. I was looking at this and looking at a box.
I want to make sure I understand you.
No food.
You're wanting to put the ingredients, just the ingredients, and then you have to identify what food it is?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And then what I did is another one, just for giggles, just because I'm that George Carlin kind of a guy, is I took some pictures of dog food labels. And I'm gonna put I'll put 2 or 3 labels up in the game and say, which one of these
Would you
which
eat?
one of these would you feed Fido? And which one of these would you feed Bobby? Whatever. And you start looking at them like you wouldn't know. And you couldn't guess what the flying horse fart the food was. I mean, it's insane. I mean, am I the only guy that looks at that sidebar? I guess I probably am.
I check them all the time.
Yeah.
I teach my kids to check them, and they're reading them. Just yesterday, Patrick was reading the ingredients on something. He's like, look, this has got less of they pronouncing everything wrong with this.
Yeah. There's a thing called pumpkin protein. Oh, cool. What is it? Pumpkin protein? When was the last time you shot for pumpkin protein? I don't know, ever. But it was just insane. I think it's a great game because here, let me read here's some ingredients. Name this food, and I'll let you go because I know you got things to do. Yeah, but top ingredients, okay? Corn syrup, sugar, pear puree, modified cornstarch, fructose, maltodextrin, palm oil, cottonseed oil, glycerin, grape juice concentrate, citric acid, carrageenan, monoglycerides, sodium citric, malic acid, vitamin C, ascorbic acid, natural and artificial flavor, potassium citrate, agar, xanthan gum, color red, color blue, and yellow.
So, George, what was the first 2 or 3 ingredients?
Yeah, the corn syrup, sugar, and pure puree.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like it's some type of, you got colors in there. You got carrageenan or the stabilizer.
Gushers.
What is it?
Gushers.
See, that I was thinking candy, but I didn't know what candy. Yeah.
Yeah, gushers. I mean, it's just like, really?
Those are
Name
really
that
good.
food.
Oh, by the way, those are really good. But not good for you.
There you go. But I just like name that food. It's just insane. Anyway. I just thought I'd jump on and wanted to touch base.
George, one of the things that I don't know that I know but your viewers testosterone, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
one of the things that would men's health. We all want to increase our testosterone levels, and naturally, if possible, I've worked with patients, I've worked with athletes who are on TRT, and there's the good, the bad, the ugly. Let's talk about that real quick, George.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're using testosterone, and just all transparency, I am not on TRT. I'm not a user of
Right.
testosterone, um, but I have patients who have been and are. And one of the things that I'll tell you, testosterone is fantastic. When our testosterone levels are at a normal 28-year-old, when we were 28, at that level, right, 800 to 1200
Yep.
testosterone level, we feel great. We have energy. We feel strong. We can go and work out. We build muscle. We sleep well.
Yeah.
Our skin looks good. Our hair looks good. Our nails look good because, I mean, it's an metabolic steroid. We're feeling good, right? We're functioning well. Our libido is fantastic. All those things are great. When we introduce exogenous testosterone, we really need to be careful, and we need to be cautious of the amount that we're giving our patients or people are taking. Why? Why am I saying this? Because, when I first started dosing, seeing dosing parameters for patients, we were looking at doing 400 milligrams of testosterone once a month. That's intramuscular. And what would happen is that's a lot of testosterone, first of all. There would be a big bolus or a big large amount at the beginning of the month. And then, man, the body would start using it. And by the end, last 2 weeks, people were exhausted, tired, much more tired than they were before when they started. But then they'd be looking forward to that first of the month because they get another bolus. And you have this big roller coaster.
Yeah.
What we started seeing is that patients started having anxiety and depression. And it's something that we don't talk about. So then we started changing the dosing parameters changed. And we started dosing testosterone every biweekly, so every 2 weeks, and that helped a little bit, but we still had those dips. So that now we're at once a week, which is a lot better. And what we see now also being done is biweekly, so every 3 to 4 days, right? To keep that stable.
Keep it stabler.
Yeah, we want to keep it stable. We want to have that constant flow there. That being said, my point in talking about this whole thing, if you're on testosterone, we have to be careful for those dips because you can go into depression or a slight anxiety there. Nobody talks about it. Nobody discusses it. And you're like, why do I feel so horrible? Why am I sad? It's the hormones. Okay. That's number one. Number two, we can increase our testosterone levels naturally. Who would have thought? And this is so easy, it's cheap, it's free, so nobody does it. But who would have thought sleeping could increase your testosterone levels? Well, it does dramatically. Going to sleep and being asleep, especially within the right window of time, your pituitary gland will start producing, sending signals to the body to produce more hormones, including testosterone, including growth hormone. But if we're not sleeping, our body doesn't take advantage of that. That's when we produce all that stuff. Number two, meditation, guided meditation. What is it? What is killing our hormones? What is the silent killer? Stress. Cortisol levels.
Yep.
When our cortisol levels are through the roof, right? That process will there will be a decrease in production of testosterone. So sleep, let's get sleep. Let's manage our stress better. Let's go work out for 15, 20 minutes. Go walking for 20 minutes, right? And then
movement, just movement.
Move. The third thing is nutrition. Who would have thought again, man? Let's eat the right foods. Now, you look at bodybuilders, look at them. They know it. I mean, they're extreme, but they know it. Hey, protein is important. You talked earlier about the pyramid being upside down. We need to have 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per body weight is what's recommended. And so we definitely want to have good proteins, good appropriate carbs, like smart carbs. We want to have that food order. But guess what? Applying these three things will produce hormones naturally. I have patients that get on hormones, bioidentical hormones, females specifically. We get these other three things working, and they get off their hormones because they naturally start producing hormones. And that's one of the beautiful things about the peak performance protocol is when we have appropriate nutrition, food timing, food order, man, our bodies are going to start producing testosterone naturally. We feel great and we look great. We sleep great. There's just so many benefits. And now, if you can get that movement in and get some resistance training, it doesn't have to be crazy. It can be push-ups. It can be sit-ups. It can be body squats. You don't need weight. You have your own body.
And some bodies have more weight than others.
Yeah.
I refer to that as gravity challenge. Some people have a greater gravity challenge than others.
Yeah. Once we get these things down, there's a reason why I don't use to. I mean, my levels are normal. I'm 51 years old. Always checking and managing all these things, but I feel great. My energy levels are through the roof because I follow what I just talked about. And nutrition.
Isn't it amazing isn't it amazing how free things, not prescription things, which is again part of your world, but at first let food be thy medicine, and let the fact of the matter is that we allow ourselves to heal naturally, and we've all, for how many centuries, millennia, have we been fine until we had got into this modern day food stress environment. I mean, look at my age. I'm 70 plus, right? 74. But when you look backwards and you start thinking, like, I wonder, did my parents and grandparents, did they count carbs and calories better than we do? Did they go to the gym more often than we do? I mean, it's not like they didn't have stress. I mean, when we were an agricultural economy, everything was a danger. Bugs, drought, heat, rain, lack of rain, soil. Before that, predators, human and animal. Before that, and there was always wars. Well, now there's always wars, but back then you were actually probably going to get invited to be in it. I mean, so there was lots of stress. So you can't say there wasn't stress back then. And you can't say, well, they just smoked themselves to it or whatever. They had stresses, but they also had a different food source, right? And so all of these types of things coming into play. So stress has always been around. It's how do we manage it? What do we do with it? And sleep, yeah, they've actually slept better than we do by all accounts because they didn't have the blue light. They didn't have a telephone in their room. If they had a telephone in the room when there were telephones, there were ringy dials. You had the rotary dial. There was no lights involved. There wasn't a TV. There was a lucky if they had a TV in the house. Now, they may have been all the way advanced to have a tubular radio, but when that was off, it was off. There was no light. So they didn't have those types of things. And they slept based on what? More the circadian, sunlight. Yep, sunlight on and off. And when did they eat? In the sunlight. Sunlight. Dark was, you didn't eat. You're eating during the light. Not that they didn't have lights. I mean, come on. I mean, there could have been candles. It could have been gas lights. It could have even been electric lights. But we ate at a different time. We slept differently. We didn't have all these conveniences that have added to convenience, but not necessarily to the construction of better health.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're right. You're absolutely right. That blue light is a big problem. I mean, it's even in my family. As much as I wish it wasn't there, it's the reality. I mean, guess what I was doing last night? Just like probably thousands, millions of people watching that football game
Yep.
till 10 p.m. Right, 10:30,
Yep.
and that blue light affected my sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a mindless, but not mindless. And then you get engaged emotionally because whether you were if you're watching that game, that game between Miami and Indiana, and I had a team, I'm sure, and you may have had a team, and we may have had the same team. It didn't really matter, but emotionally, we were engaged.
What was your team?
The red one.
I was rooting for Miami, man. I'm just
you're ready. Yeah, I know you're for the tutti frutti color. I was downright Midwest. Here we go. Big Ten, take it all.
Of course.
But the whole matter is that during the ebbs and tides and flows of that game, if we had you monitored to a cortisol or blood pressure or anything else, we would have seen fluctuations.
Yeah.
And you were what, 5 hours away by air flight direct from that event.
Yes.
But you were emotionally engaged as if you were sitting on the 50-yard line.
Absolutely.
And I think then we get most frustrated with all these TV timeouts. It's like, I don't know about you, but when I'm just talking to cortisol and talking about sports and being at events, I hate the red hat. And when I'm at a college football game, I hate the red hat. The guy that comes out on the field is wearing a red hat and has an arm sleeve that's red. He's the TV commercial guy. We can't play the game until he gets his red hat off the field. I hate that guy. I get I go up like this. Now, if I'm at home, that's my time. That's oh, good. I can go to the bathroom. I can go to the fridge. I can go check on whatever, right? But we emotionally get involved in that, and we're miles apart. We're way apart from the actual event. But yeah, it's as if we were there.
Yeah, but it does definitely affect everybody who's watching it.
Yeah, and so like the Bears played the other day, and they didn't have an outcome that I preferred.
The Bears.
The weekend before, they had an outcome that I preferred the same kind of way, but the guys in the other color, the yellow-green guys, they weren't happy. Yeah. And, so I don't know about you, but I used to really get depressed, literally depressed based on the outcomes of certain college games and pro games. I mean, I was so invested. Yeah. And now I understand more of the why, the physiological whys. And so that gets added to our sleep. People that are from Indiana slept well. I'm sure people from Miami relived many plays and didn't sleep very well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Regardless, we all got a decreased amount of sleep.
Yep. It affects our hormones. It affects the way we feel.
Yep. And then just take added to that. Now they're eating. What was the eating habits while people were watching? Do you think most people at home sat and just watched without nibbling on something? I
had dinosaur beef ribs. Yeah. Prime. I had what else did I eat? Hot dog. I had a hot dog. It wasn't good. Yeah. But it was the football, right? It was an excuse.
Exactly. And at what time of the day? So is it after normal eating? Is it after dinner time? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
But with fiber.
With fiber. We do that. Yes. No problem with that. We always have our fiber around, right? Always got the fiber. But it's just, we can see how all of these things come together and how they all affect testosterone. And testosterone, male and female, is a hormone for both. Don't just think it's a guy deal. And guys, don't think estrogen is not a real deal for you too. But testosterone is also a precursor for type 2 diabetes. It's right in there. It's one of the master 6 hormones. There's 6 master hormones, aren't there, Dr. Bobby?
I've never really counted them like that. But you got testosterone, you got estrogen, you got progesterone, you got cortisol, you got DHEA, you got insulin. That's 6. What's the 7th one?
Oxy.
Oxytocin?
Yeah, is an oxy in there?
It could be. It's yeah. I mean, some people will say vitamin D now is considered a hormone. It's
Yeah.
right. So
But so we've got these mass, and they all run into my back to my original context is that they all work inside of a system, and
oh yeah.
so we can single out different things, but to champion a thing over another is to ignore the entire system.
Absolutely.
It's, so like if you get in a car, it's a multiple systems. There's multiple things going on. What's the most important thing? Gas. Well, gas isn't important if you don't have an electric charge. All the different kinds of things running into each other, and you can't even do any of that unless there's air getting into it. Most people never think about the air, but you need the air to have the ignition. And then you start where the spark come from. And while you're going along, where's the spark coming from? And then if you don't have an exhaust system to get it out efficiently, what happens? You get buildup and gum up and all. Just the whole automobile thing there's no different than our bodies.
Yeah.
We can give flat tires, we can use slow energy, a gazillion different analogies that all make things not work.
My favorite analogy is a symphony. I think of hormones, our bodies like a symphony. I mean, you got an orchestra, you got a team. If you just play the flutes, you get one sound, but you add the saxophones, you get a rich sound. You got a drummer, you understand what I'm saying. They all work together in symphony. When one of them is out, hey, you notice.
Yep.
You're right. We can't disregard one group. We got to look at it as a totalitarian, a whole. What's going on with the whole group?
Exactly. And like if you think about it, we're just going to the symphony. If you think about the Boston Pops, and there's that Christmas song kind of right. But the most important instrument in that whole thing is the guy that's got 2 2x4s that are 8 foot tall, and you get the last whip, and he's taking those 2x4s and smacking them together. That's where that sound comes from. Now, think about that in your body and the hormones. Sometimes you just need that one to do that one thing, and if it doesn't do that one thing, it goes dumb and numb and flat. So right. Absolutely. So each thing is needed. And not necessarily more important than the other, but because they all do stack. They all do stack. So, yeah, I'm really a big advocate on looking at more totality, because some people are all about this diet or that diet or this protein or that protein or this thing and that. Great. You can grandstand. You can say you're wrong because this is more important. And don't eat these 3 things because this is the most important. And someone know this is the most important. All it is creating chaos.
Yeah.
When we look to the simplest things, we start looking at the totality. I think we're going to, and we start looking for more natural, more, and again, common sense isn't common like that. Kane says all the time, but more calm ways to make things work. And so we don't guilt parents for not having goldfish in their purse, that they constantly are feeding their kids or grandkids to keep them quiet. And you're like, I'm just going to give them a snack. Just go ahead and eat this. Go ahead. Why? The kid ain't hungry, but you're Pavlov dog. You're putting the carrot out for him. So,
hey, George, one of the questions I get asked all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the best diet out there for you? Here's my answer. It's the one that works for you. and I laugh when I say that because I'm being funny, but think about all the different, like you got keto diet, you got the Mediterranean diet, you got South Beach diet, you got high protein, you got
Dash,
active
Dash Mash.
Yeah, we got them all. What I always look for, I always look for common denominators. George, what's the one common denominator? There's actually 2, but the main common denominator between all of these vegetables, fiber. They all have fiber in them.
Yep.
They all start with fiber, Mediterranean, and we're talking about good fiber, right?
Yep.
And they also have good quality protein in them. They
Yep.
don't have Fruit Loops in there. They don't have Cheerios in there. They don't have any processed foods.
Yeah, they don't have the ultra processed foods.
No.
None of them.
None of them.
And yet the majority of the availability for purchase is ultra processed foods that have the characteristic of being hyper palatable. Now that's a real kind of real, that's a New York Times word. I mean, that's got a lot of vowels and letters in it. But what it is it does, that food has been formulated, designed to trick your mind to, one, not be full, and two, want more of it.
Correct.
But one of the really crazy things, we start looking at serving sizes that no one pays attention to. Well, some people do. I get that. But if you look at one of those little bags of Cheetos at one of the convenience stores, you don't get them at the store. You get them at convenience stores because they charge as much as you do there. But anyway, if you look at just one, I'm going to get one of those bags so I have it as a prop. One of those bags, if you look at, flip it about, the number of servings in that one little bag, 3.
It's crazy.
When was the last time you saw someone open up one of those gas station bags of Cheetos and eat the 2.5 or 3 of them and then fold the bag up and say, well, it's my daily? No, it's more you see them poured out like milk, right? But anyway. So, all right, I know you've got to go. You're a busy guru.
I'm looking at the Cheetos real quick. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm looking at Cheeto Puffs.
Yeah.
Serving size. It on this specific one, it says 13 pieces. 13 pieces.
What about those cheese balls? They're the 5-gallon bucket things that people buy, those plastic barrels.
Yeah. It's got to be horrible.
Yeah, they eat one, and then they'll eat one, and their fingers are turning orange. Then they just take it and pour it up.
It's horrible. Hey, so bottom line is eat whole foods, number one. Food order is important. Start with fiber. We've got a great fiber matrix that works fantastic for gut health. If those of you out there, men, women, whoever's watching this, right? Gut health, the importance of gut health is incredible, right? We want to normalize our gut. One of the fastest, simplest way to do that is with the fiber. And George, you got a fiber stick there. That fiber matrix is got not only soluble but insoluble fiber. 7 different ingredients in there that help just normalize. So if you have IBS, all kinds of problems, right? This works fantastic.
Yeah.
It really, really does. If there's one thing, I'll have 2 fibers, sometimes 3 fibers a day with each meal. If my kids want to go have ice cream or pizza, guess what? I'm having the fiber first. I'm not denying them. Hey, by the way, George, you haven't met my son, any of my kids, but one of my sons, Patrick. Patrick is 11 years old, and he goes to all of my presentations.
Great.
He's at all of my workshops. Probably about 95% of them.
Sure.
He helps set up. He's amazing. He's an amazing guy. And after this last lecture I did in Houston, I was invited to Houston to guest speak over there on metabolic health. He was there with me, and after he left that, he's like, you know what? I want to start the protocol on Monday, and that's one of the beautiful things about this protocol. It's safe for everybody.
Yeah.
Found in the physician's desk reference. The ingredients are all natural. The sweetener stevia. It's not just any stevia; it's the grade A stevia. He's using it. He's loving it. He's going to school, and what's cool is that a couple of teachers and the principal assistant, they're on the protocol too, so they're supporting him, right? And it's pretty cool how it's working out. But I'm really, really proud of him.
That's exciting. Yeah. And when you're talking about kids, this is something I just that's driving me. A lot of things bug me. Okay, at 74, I see things, I see trends, and I'm a student of history. But there's a thing that's happening that no one's talking about yet, or I say no, that's not necessarily true. But a lot of people are not even discussing normal or even considering. And there's these people that are taking that. Well, we're gonna talk about we're in a public forum. They're taking shots for weight loss, and it's all about vanity. A lot of it's about vanity. Yes, there's obesity. I get that, but I'm feeling. And I don't have any verification, but I'm sensing, because of all the celebrities and look at me. I've got a gut feeling concern for our female youth population that could be taking us back down the path that we went through with bulimia. Okay, shaming our shape, and we kind of came out of that. Okay, which is good, not to the betterment of our health in a lot of ways, but we've got away from some of that, and I think we're going to potentially see more issues mentally, anxiety, depression, disruptive eating patterns, deliberate, looking in the mirror, not being happy. And I think that adults that have gone through that period of time, we need to start being a little bit more aware of some of this. That's a concern that I have. I just wanted to run that by you, because I know in your world, you'll see the aftermath of some of that, where people have gone off and they're becoming bulimic or anorexic, and their self-image is gone, and they can't see past it, and they battle food addiction from an entirely different psychological perspective.
Yeah.
Yes, no, or any input on
You're
that?
right about all that stuff, but even before that, we're seeing fatty liver in children now. That's unheard of. When I started practicing pharmacy, you never saw that. You rarely saw that. And now we're seeing it with so much, and it's because of the ultra processed foods that we're seeing that fatty liver. It's all because of insulin resistance, right? The cause is the wrong diet, which leads to insulin resistance, which leads to diabetes, prediabetes, whatever, which leads to fatty liver, right? So that's a big problem. And I don't know that we're dealing with that appropriately.
Right.
And we're talking about what you're talking about with all the potentially psychological issues that are developing or going to be developing. Well, sure, that's also an issue, right? Because now we start seeing, again, like we've seen in the past, I say magazines. I realize most people aren't looking at magazines anymore, but we're looking on the internet, and we're comparing ourselves to what we see on the internet and saying, hey, I'm not normal. That's wrong. Guess what? You're normal. You are normal. I'm normal. George, you're normal. We are who we are, and we should be happy with the bodies that God has given us. And if we're not happy with the way we look or feel, make some healthy choices to make some adjustments, and recognize that it took us 10, 15 years to get to this point of eating unhealthy. Well, it's going to take some time to get back. Don't expect quick fixes. That's what I'll say about that.
Okay. Yeah, because that's just another one of those things. When I start looking at comparative then and now,
sure,
and how things do repeat, and so everything adds into it. And then the last thing, and I'll let you go, is as I'm starting to do more research, and Lord knows, hundreds of hours in this last 12 months, and we have 10 hours easy a week availability of education and sharing and research. One of the things that some people will also argue in terms of refuting or rebuking proof in terms of that is that they go, well, it's causation and correlation. And so people say, well, it just kind of correlates. Just because this happened at the same kind of time, you can't say that. Well, to me, common sense says, yeah, because it wasn't before, now it is. I mean, or give me what else? Or they always say, well, that's not direct causation. Well, okay, the train crashed because all the cars on the moon went off the track, but there was a rock on the rail way at the front that caused the skid, that caused the. And I think sometimes people let that go.
George, you may need to change your friends. I'm not having any conversations about causation, relationship, nothing about P value.
Yeah, because I just see some of this, then I go like, what?
Yeah,
here it's real. Look at this is anyway. So.
You got to use common sense. Unfortunately, we're not seeing a lot of common sense nowadays. But that's a whole nother story.
Exactly.
Exactly. The bottom line is, hey, if you're looking to lose weight, if you're looking to feel better, if you're looking to just have more energy, look into the protocol. Peak performance protocol is amazing. We're talking about intermittent fasting. We're talking about using the appropriate fiber, looking at using a chlorogenic tea to help curb your appetite, to help manage insulin levels. It's easy to do. It makes sense. It's logical, and it works.
Yep.
There's no confusion. There's no confusion.
Absolutely. So, guys, I want to thank Dr. Bobby for coming on. If you know Dr. Bobby, he's got a big event down in Harlingen Friday.
Yeah.
And get a hold of Dr. Bobby. Learn from him. Dr. Kenny's coming. There's an all-star lineup that's going to be live that will share stories in that. So get a hold of them. Tonight we have Testosterone Tuesday on the same channel. Followed by that that's 7 o'clock Eastern at 9 o'clock Eastern, which is 6 and 8 Central Time, because that's really the most important time that we care about, right, Dr. Anyway, there's a science call about metabolic syndrome. Now that's tonight as well. So Testosterone Tuesday, and that Thursday we have another a fun event, and I hope you guys one of these days, you and Amy will be able to make the Feel Great Squares Couples Edition, because that is an hour of how did we do it? How do you do it? Families going together. I mean, and Jaime and Claudia they're the defending champions. They won 2 weeks in a row, so they're the defending champions. Some of them may unseat them this week. We'll find out. We have another opportunity call on Friday. We have Alzheimer event on Sunday nights, 8 o'clock Central Time and 9 o'clock Eastern. And that's all about Alzheimer's. Looking at genetics with identical twins. One did not get Alzheimer's with identical twins, mirror twins. We talk about brain fog, the symptoms, all the different kinds of dementia, underneath Alzheimer's being one of them. We talk about brain fog and those types of things and those precursors, the things you can do. So get with Dr. Bobby, get with me. If you're interested in the protocol, absolutely. If you're looking at the opportunity, get a hold of us as well. We're on a mission so that things we talked about become common talk, and then people can sleep better, get better health, higher levels of all the right hormones, get the inflammation gone, rid themselves of inflammation that also is insulin resistance, get their gut corrected, and so the liver works well and the brain works well, and we live long and prosper. So, Dr. Bobby, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys tonight with Testosterone Tuesday. Have a good day. Thanks, Dr. Bobby.
See you, George. See you guys. Take care.